In these two examples, we'll be talking about profit and loss. So there is a formula for profit. So basically, you think about profit is the money that you make. So a profit will happen when you sell an item above the cost price. That means you sell it higher, more expensive than the cost price. So that's why when you want to calculate the profit, it will be from the selling price, which is higher. So the higher selling price minus the cost price will give you the profit. However, if let's say you sell below the cost price, you're making a loss. So in this case, the formula for calculating loss will be cost price minus the selling price, because the selling price is lower than the cost price. So you lose out on a certain amount. But if you would like to calculate the percentage profit, it will be based on the cost price. So the cost price is always 100%. So in either case, for percentage profit and percentage loss, the cost price will be 100%. So in order to avoid confusion, you should always make sure you know the cost price, and then you separately calculate the profit and loss before you calculate the percentage. Okay, so a profit will happen when the selling price is higher than the cost price. A loss will happen when the selling price is lower than the cost price. So in a very simple example here, a shopkeeper bought an antique clock for 2005. That means this 2005 is actually the cost price. So if he decide to sell the clock higher than the cost price, then he's going to earn a profit. So in this case, the amount of extra money will be the profit. So you do a subtraction from whatever he sell and taking away the cost price that he bought the clock with, he earned a profit of 1,003. So the percentage profit will be based on the cost price. The cost price is the 100%. So from here, he actually earns a 52% profit. Okay, in another scenario, if he decide to sell lower than the cost price, that means he will make a loss. So in this case, if he decide to sell it at 2,000, he actually make a loss of 500. So if I would like to calculate the percentage loss, I will compare the 500 to the cost price. So the cost price is 100%. So he make a 20% loss if he decide to sell it at 2,000, because it's lower than the cost price. So do change the answer on this part. Okay, so in another example here, we kind of twist the idea around. So in 17A, Amy suffered a loss of 20% on the cost price by selling her piano for 5,180. That means, right, this selling price is actually lower than the cost price. And that's how she make a loss. So the selling price is 5,180 and she make a loss. So this 5,180 is after the 20% loss. That means the person who is paying 5,180 is paying 80% of the cost price. So in a way, you can think about 80% as 5,180. So you can do primary school thinking, but don't use the arrow. So if you would like the cost price, then you are finding 100%. So what I do will be, I divide the 5,180, I divide by 80%, and then I multiply by the 100 that I'm interested in. So the cost price is 6,475. You can, same thing, you can actually work backwards. So if you use this cost price and you go backwards and calculate a 20% loss. So 20% on this cost price. the loss is 1295. So the selling price will be lower, will be this amount lower than the selling price, than the cost price. So that should get you the 5180. So you can always work backwards to see whether your answer makes sense or not. Okay, in the next part, okay, this guy is going to gain a 45% by selling his toy for 362.5. So that means this guy is going to earn some money. That means this amount is the selling price, and this selling price is more than the cost price. So cost price is 100%. And if this is higher than the cost price, that means this would is actually 45% higher. That means the amount that he is selling is represented by 145%. So I'm interested in the cost price. So I'm interested to find 100%. So again, you can do some primary school thinking. 145% represent 362.5. You need to find your 1% before you find your 100%. So I do my usual step. To get my 1%, I use a 362.5 to divide by 145. That will be my 1% amount that's represented by the 1%. And then I multiply by 100. So the cost price is 250. So he's selling a lot higher than the cost price. So again, you can work backward. You can try 45% on 250 and you add that up to see whether do you get the selling price of 362.5.